Welcome back to the Archive Network. Aurelius here with Malik, curators of the Lineage archive. We left House of Hunyadi last time at the end approaches. Today we pick up where we left off. A kingdom that once soared proudly under the Raven's banner now trembles precariously. Matthias Corvinus' death, in 1490, doesn't just mark an end. It unleashes a chaotic tide. With no legitimate heir in sight, the House of Hunyadi stands exposed and vulnerable. This moment invites all manner of opportunists to circle above, eager to seize what's left. We can almost hear the whispers of those waiting in the shadows, plotting their next moves as the foundations of power begin to shift.
But it's not just the absence of an heir that creates instability. The royal palace in Buda has turned into a battleground, with nobles scrambling to reclaim the power they lost during Matthias's reign. For years, he centralized authority and kept them in check. Now with his death, they're ready to pounce. It's a dangerous game, and the stakes are high. The kingdom's future hangs in the balance, while ordinary people bear the brunt of these power struggles.
True, but we must consider the broader implications here. The Black Army, once a proud symbol of royal strength, is now in a state of disarray. Unpaid and leaderless, they've devolved from protectors into predators. This transformation is a stark reminder that loyalty is often contingent upon circumstances, and power can be as fleeting as the wind. History shows us how quickly the mighty can fall, and how swiftly their former allies can become their fiercest foes.
Aurelius, you're framing this as if the army's failure is just because of Matthias's death. But it's so much deeper than that. These soldiers are victims of a broken system, caught in a web of neglect. Their loyalty wasn't just about following orders. It grew from Matthias's ambitious reforms. Now, that same crown has abandoned them, turning those who once protected the realm into scapegoats. We can't forget the human cost of all this chaos.
You raise a valid point. The treasury, once overflowing with gold and silver, is now all but empty. Years of relentless war have drained our resources and sapped our strength. We strive for greatness, often sacrificing our own stability in the process. The Hunyadi dynasty, like so many before it, illustrates this harsh reality. We're left to wonder if the pursuit of glory is worth the cost. It's a lesson we should take to heart as we reflect on our own ambitions.
And yet, this isn't just a story of imperial ambition. The power vacuum creates an opening for foreign predators like Maximilian of Habsburg and Vladislaus of the Jagiellonians. They start courting Hungary's nobles, sweet-talking them with promises of autonomy in exchange for loyalty. It's a tempting offer, and the Hunyadi foothold weakens as local elites jump at the chance to exchange long-standing ties for short-term gain. You can almost feel the betrayal in the air, can't you?
The alliances we see being forged in smoke-filled chambers reveal a desperate scramble for power. Yet, it's John Corvinus who bears the heaviest burden of all. Illegitimate in the eyes of the law, he stands isolated, cut off from the support he desperately needs. His struggle to uphold his family's legacy underscores the fragility of dynastic power. We can't ignore how easily fortunes can shift and empires can crumble when personal ambition clashes with the weight of history.
But Aurelius, John's illegitimacy isn't just some legal detail. It's a weapon used against him, a tool for those in power to undermine his claim. The Diet's refusal to crown him isn't random. It's a calculated move to safeguard their own interests. As they watch the Hunyadi legacy crumble, they're making sure their own influence stays unchallenged. And in the process, they're not just playing politics, they're tearing apart lives and futures that could have meant so much.
Your argument has merit, but let's be clear. The Diet's actions reveal a self-serving nature that's hard to ignore. They're far more concerned with their own power than the stability of the kingdom. However, we must also recognize that the seeds of this collapse were sown long before Matthias's death. Political maneuvering, betrayals, and short-sightedness have been brewing for years. It's a pattern we see repeatedly in history, where the quest for personal gain outweighs the greater good.
Yes, the years of war and internal strife really took their toll on everyone involved. Every choice made by the Hunyadis, even the ones that seemed right at the time, ultimately led to their downfall. The reforms that once strengthened their rule now create deep divisions among the nobility. What was meant to unify their vision of a strong monarchy has instead become a source of resentment, tearing at the fabric of their relationships and leaving lasting scars on the land and its people.
And the disbandment of the Black Army exposed Hungary's southern borders, leaving them wide open. Ottoman raiders seized the opportunity, pushing deeper into the heartland, sowing chaos and fear. The kingdom, once fortified by Hunyadi's strength, now stands vulnerable. Each noble, driven by personal ambition, pursues their own interests, completely ignoring the greater good of the realm. We see time and again how such divisions erode unity, and history teaches us that this kind of infighting rarely ends well.
This disunity leads to chaos all around us. Villages burn, and families are torn apart as refugees flee for their lives. The peasantry bears the brunt of this violence, struggling to survive amidst the turmoil. The Hunyadi legacy, which once stood as a beacon of hope, is now just a collection of stories filled with betrayal and loss. It's heartbreaking to see the common folk suffer the consequences of the nobility's ambitions, their dreams crushed while the powerful play their games.
As we see the end of the House of Hunyadi approach, a haunting question lingers in the air. What will survive this collapse? Ruined castles stand as silent witnesses, and lost manuscripts whisper tales of a once united kingdom. Their legacy now hangs in the balance, teetering between oblivion and remembrance. Will future generations recognize the weight of these remnants? History, as always, waits patiently, ready to decide what fragments of this empire will endure and what will fade into obscurity.
That's where we leave it this time. House of Hunyadi continues. The story isn't finished yet. Find the full series on the Lineage archive, part of the Archive Network. We'll be back with the next chapter.